this deck a lot, and then we're circling back to the Necro Rite of Consumption Plunge deck. This was something we were working on pretty early into the Edge of Eternity season, and now that the Cosmogoyf Fling stuff has picked up in popularity, like now months and months later, the version that's popular is like this really all-in build. It's playing like Chancer of the Tangle, and it's playing Devourer of Destiny, and it's playing uh Spoils of the Vault, just to try to fling a Cosmogoyf as fast as possible. When I never tested a version that was that all in. So it's I think it's possible that I'm wrong about this, but I just really think it's better to go a little slower, play good interaction, and then try to use Necro to set up for like a turn 4 Cosmogoyf fling instead of trying to set up for the turn 2 or turn 3 realistically, not draw turn 2 with the other deck. Um, it's like you're a turn slower, but your card quality is way higher, and you have a lot more interaction, and you just get to play Necro. Necro is such a good enabler for the Cosmogoyf Fling stuff. You get to draw a ton of cards. You get to discard a ton of cards to set up for the exile. You get to use Soul Spike to also help with the exile cost a little. I guess it doesn't help if you're going to be discarding them to Necro, but Soul Spike also gets your opponent's life total a good bit lower. In addition to other also putting cards in exile. But you just get to go turn 3 Necro, draw a ton of cards, and keep land, Cosmogoyf, and then Rite of Consumption, which sacks a creature, and you deal damage equal to its power, and you gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. It's also nice that this can just gain you like 10 life. So if this isn't enough to kill your opponent, if you're doing this with a Necro in play, you can gain 10 life and then set up to do it again the next turn a lot of the time. It's a really nice dynamic. Compared to when Mingu plays a list, you know it's going to become somewhat popular. Yeah, I was Mingu's build just it was. I guess I don't think it was exactly my build. I don't remember exactly what his looked like. I just went to my old build and edited it. But I remember looking at it because we're friends on Facebook, and I saw him posted on Facebook. I know you should get to tune into his stream very often. But I'm like, hey, I played this. So, anyways, we're playing this again. Anyway, so compared to the last time we played it, we are not playing Profane Tutor. I'm not the biggest fan of Profane Tutor at the moment. It's really like a turn 3 format in a lot of ways with like how popular Titan is. Tron is not like a turn 3 deck, but Profane Tutor is pretty bad against Karn the Great Creator, where they could just grab something that's going to just totally stop your Profane Tutor from being effective. Storm is very popular. Prowess is very popular. I've not been liking Profane Tutor a lot. I want something that is going to do something the turn I play it. Thankfully, you already really reliably get your Necro between Serum Powder and then Plunge into Darkness as a way to dig for it. And so I think you just don't need I don't think that you need the Profane Tutor. So that's the big thing, and that makes room for more March of Wretched Sorrows, which help grow the Goyfs a lot. Cling to Dust, which we weren't playing last time, which are great in this deck just as a good card, and also cards that grow the Goyf. Wouldn't mind being able to play the third Cling. One other big change from the last time we played this is we're not playing Boggart Trawler. But the life loss from Boggart Trawler has felt to me to be a lot worse than the fact that it's a black card for Soul Spike in March, and then of course occasionally a spell. And then another thing too is I actually want to play a lot of fetchable swamps, because when you're playing Serum Powder, it can be a little bit awkward sometimes to Serum Powder away like 2 swamps if you are only playing 4. It's not gonna come up that often, but when it does come up, it's a little bit scary. So I've been liking to play a lot of fetchable so I can Serum Powder really without worrying about anything or worrying about any of the land stuff. And when you have Serum Powder in this deck, you really want to use it. You really want to use it because every time you Serum Powder, your Cosmogoyf just becomes such an insane card. I think the sideboard is pretty similar. I don't think we are playing the full 4 Break the Ice last time. I don't think I was playing Surgical last time, but it's pretty similar overall. Wouldn't hate playing more Sheoldreds now that we can't Profane Tutor for this one, but I think the first copy's still fine. How does Powder work with the London Mulligan? Good question. It's a little bit complicated. So, all right, let's Powder our 7 here. Powder again. Put back a Necro, I guess. It's kind of risky to put back. I guess we could put back the Plunge. So do we have enough to equip Boots if we got it? No, we did not. Not that it would have changed things, because they would have been able to still kill me, but or bounce the snake, but we would not. We were short if we got the Boots. Seems they're less playing Ruby Storm. So maybe if they're gonna think this long, they're just probably playing Ruby Storm. So they're double queuing in a modern challenge, but how could they just start a league match mid modern challenge match? I don't know. Did they kill me on turn 4 or turn 3? It's like it's so tough to like. I guess they didn't kill me, but the fact that they went Vexing Bobble into Collector Oof into kill me is just so tough. Oh, that's right. I forgot I powdered. I don't have to put a card back. Let's go to graveyard that. We really would just love to draw a Goy for a Thoughtseize. Well, we do have a good hand against Titan here. We actually have a turn 3 just with the Goyf. Whoa, what? So this is Neoform? Was I supposed to Soul Spike? It shouldn't matter because either of these are lethal. Great to have drawn the Goyf, obviously. But yeah, I mean, this deck just also has turn 3 wins. Although you have to have double powder to turn 3 win. I don't. When I'm comparing this deck to the Thud build, I feel like it's not super good to talk about the turn 3 wins. But I just do think that this is the better of the two decks. I might do a little Thoughtseize plus Surgical combo here. Not a lot else. Yeah, thanks. I don't remember where I got this. But I did buy it because of the toucan. How many matches left? 13? Only 22 minutes on the clock. We might be able to get 2 matches in. You get to play Claim Fame if you play Thought. I didn't know they played Claim Fame. Wait, am I muted again? Test. Yeah, you know, y'all can always mind trick me into resetting the interface anytime anyone says muted. It's definitely double queued. I don't know how these start a match double queued like this. Like, why would they not just finish their challenge match? So this is a turn 3 win with no interaction on the draw against Neoform. I think that's just not a keep. Neoform too fast. This hand has a Serum Powder, or sorry, Thoughtseize. Yeah, also has a Serum Powder. Got a Focusrite Vocaster interface. Yeah, I'll be shopping. I think I want to go. I usually for these kind of things, I go to Micro Center. I chat with their people there for a little bit, and I'm usually almost always happy with that experience. Yeah, I think the audio itself is good, but the problem with the interface is that once a stream, sometimes twice a stream, it'll just cut out, and I have to reset it. Maybe it's annoying. It's not the biggest deal ever, but it's also getting kind of older, and like surely I can just have one that doesn't do this. Yeah, Micro Center is the best. It does take me a little while to get there. Oh, I might actually. Okay, they just concede. Great. Keep. Let's put back the push. Second push, probably. Will we ever see Enduring Ideal Spike? I've been waiting for it for about 6 years. I thought it was coming any week. Yeah. it'll you know, maybe one day we could play Enduring Ideal. It would be like a dark and sad day, but kind of hard to take the route when I've got double fatal push. Although I'm telling my opponent I've got removal. We're never gonna get a Spike Gamer Subs. You know, they've reached out to me a bunch. They've reached out to me a bunch. I kind of find a lot of their branding to be a little embarrassing, but and I don't really like energy drinks. But I have thought about it, and now I guess I'm kind of closing the door. But they have reached out. What would my gamer subs flavor be? I wonder. Okay, why don't we wait a turn and try to surveil until land 4, maybe, for the round? Enemy waifus aren't embarrassing? I don't know. I'm definitely not going to go in public with my big titty energy drinks. It's I, I don't know. I've got an image to maintain. Oh, I got a ruby. I don't know what my flavor would be. I probably wouldn't get a full flavor, honestly. Or maybe I would have. I can't remember. Listen, if I take the sponsorship deal, this conversation never happened, okay? So they have a Grape Shot, a Ral, and a mystery card over there. I didn't mean to click off the Ral. It's kind of weird that they haven't played the Ral at first with this many instants to like also flip it. Okay, there's the Ral. Okay, and now I just get to kill the Ral, so I'm a little confused. I know my opponent's last card is Grape Shot. Why don't I just go ahead and march? Yeah. Feisty Spikeling. Yeah, Feisty Spikeling could be good. Johnson with the 51 again, thank you. They flip over a Manamorphose and an Arid Mesa. Okay, another Impulse to keep them alive. They find a Striker Rich and a Ritual, so they could hit me. They could Grape Shot me for a bunch, which is kind of good against my Necro here. I think we got to pad our life total a little bit. They probably should Grape Shot me for 12, right? Well, maybe they should do it for 11 and hold this for next turn. That's probably better. Oh, I forgot about the Striker Rich. Okay. Well, okay, they're gonna do it for 13. I probably would have held this for next turn, although it's not the biggest deal, right? So I'm taking a bunch of damage. Down to 10. I have 9 cards in my exile for future Goyfs. They've got no cards in their hand. Modern needs more copies of Endurance in the meta? Yeah, I think so. I keep building this Simic Collected Company deck over and over and over again. I want to Collected Company into a Born Oculus. Y'all don't know how bad I want to Collected Company into a Born Oculus. I'm gonna draw 7 here. And then a lot of times, like, there's just not that much else that's good to Coco into. And a lot of times I end up main decking a lot of Endurances, and I end up talking myself into thinking that I'm a genius for doing so. So I can cling myself. I think we're just digging here. So they might surveil looking for a Pass in Flames. I'm sorry, little one. I guess I could have sacrificed it to Plunge also. Okay, up a game against Storm. The challenge is probably round 2 is probably starting kind of soon. We can bring in the Nature's Claims and the Surgicals, I guess. Got the Marches and the Sheoldred probably. You can pay 0 life, I think, instead. I had several ways to win the game. I don't think it really mattered there. But, I don't know if you can pay 0 on that card, I guess, but if you could, then that might have been technically better. It doesn't really matter. We just need to put any 2 of our cards in the graveyard. It's game 1 against Storm. They're not going to have anything. Do I like Design of Cling? I love Cling, yeah. One of a great escape card. Don't love drawing 3rd Fatal Push here. One of the only well-designed escape cards, I think. Also, partially like Cling a lot because it's like one of the only escape cards that's good against other escape cards. This is Uro Erasure. Yeah, Uro is not a well-designed card. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't know that I had to explain that part. But yeah, Uro is not not in my list of well-designed Magic cards. Well, I didn't get to keep the push up. So their hand is Pyretic Ritual, Strike It, Rich, and then Wish, and then another card off the Manamorphose. Yeah, Croaks is fine. Although, like, Croxa with Luris was, I think, pretty egregious. You know, I just don't know why they decided to make another Escape Titan in MH3. Okay, so we don't need to get into that today. Is Flage well designed? No. Sorry. All right, they got Striker Rich Wish as their last two cards. They could wish with 4 mana floating, so they can pass in flames here. So probably gonna go to game 3. Same reason they brought back Eldrazi and Energy. Okay, people always talk about Energy in this conversation, but I don't know. I feel like Energy as a mechanic coming back is fine. The cards that they printed with them are not well designed, but like Energy was never a problematic mechanic in Modern. Hot take, Flage is well designed, Arena of Glory is poor design. I just hate when a card just wait, they go for empty instead? I guess they just don't have a pass in flames. I don't know. I just these Escape Titans, I just dislike how much the game revolves around them once they enter the game. It's not the biggest thing ever, but just not a fan. Okay, so they flipped the route to 7, and then they're gonna plus, and then I won't be able to get it down. Maybe I draw a land for Necro and I find a Soul Spike, but these feisty goblins, huh? I agree, Arena of Glory is better than Flage. I mean, it's kind of hard to even... You know, it's like, is Guide better than Pride? Is Ajani better than Bardment? Is Arena better than Flage? These cards are so annoying together, you know, and... Doesn't exactly matter a lot. Alright, so I guess we're gonna attack the Rao with Cosmogoyf. And then if they don't block, we can use Cling to Dust to get rid of it. What if they like super block? No, they're not going to do that. Yeah, March would have been pretty nice. But now, so we're going to be taking 11 from the goblins. So I think my goal is to... So if I need to be soul spiking up to 12 life. And so that means I can go down to 8. So I can pay 8 life to try to find a soul spike. Pay 8, down to 8, gain 4 up to 12, not die. No, then I died to the Ral minus. So I'm going to have to pay 6. Okay, okay, step 2, find soul spike. Yeah, I did board out the Marge. Storm player losing the game again. Well, we're currently behind for whatever that's worth, but we have a chance to win this game. That's true. I appreciate the optimism. We're currently super behind with very small chance to be able to win. Okay, so I'm taking 9 down to 5. Shout out Dolly Parton. Just combo off. Well, I don't get a draw step is an issue with comboing off. So I go Fatal Push Goblin, attack Ral. Then I can Cling to Dust Ral, and I can go to 8, and I die to the Goblins. I think I'd still have to push, and then attack the Ral. Cling to Dust the Ral for 3 life points. I did board a Nature's Claim. That might be part of my out here. Ral isn't the problem. Ral does me 2 damage. So I think I have to... And I also get to gain life if I attack the Ral. So I'm attacking the Ral. So now I'm at 8. How much life are you paying? So if I pay 7 life and I find a Nature's Claim and a Soul Spike, I can gain 8 and I can still die. No, I guess I would kill a Goblin. How bad was Go Face and Go for Spike? It was very bad because we die. I had to cling the Ral. Alright, let's look for Nature's Claim and Soul Spike. No fucking way, dude. Wait, should I have a Soul Spike first to grow the Goyf? I guess it's going to be lethal anyways. Let's wait on the Soul Spike so they tap out and then I just get to... They attack with everything and I just get to attack for lethal, right? Wasn't it a win if we just went face? Literally, what game are we watching? I had to Cling to Dust the Ral to gain the 3 life to even make this play in the first place. All right, I'm a 1. I attack for 18. Okay, yeah, yes. The moral of the story: Storm bad, not Spike good. Storm bad. All right, 1 match in progress in the challenge, or 2-0 in this league, which is fun. 0-1 in the challenge, lost to Titan. Maybe would have won the match if we won the die roll. Hard to say. I think I would have had the turn 3 kill on the play. Is it cope winning goblins to be decent? I mean, I think that there's a chance goblins is going to be decent. It's you definitely can always want what you want to be good. I guess we'll just put these back. Hope to live till turn 3. I mean, you can always want what you want to be good. I do think that there is a new Birthing Ritual Goblins deck that exists that I tried to build a lot post MH3. Birthing Ritual / Chthonian Nightmare. Maybe more in on one than the other. Probably more in on Birthing Ritual than Nightmare. But like the deck that I tried to build a bunch, this shell, it got like a bunch of new pieces and like now exists in a way that it just didn't exist. And so the next step is to just see how good it is, to like actually come to a conclusion. Is this going to be a competitive deck in Modern or not? Well, if I knew my opponent was playing Grand, I probably would have kept Cling to Dust. Yeah, they set the Friday challenge at 32s. Yeah, they did not give like really many good elves. I do like the Proliferate elf, the one that when it or another elf enters, you put a -1 counter on your opponent's thing. I thought that card was pretty good. And then I do think the 6/6 that draw a card and cast a creature spell, I think you can play that as a 1 of Court of Calling target, but it isn't really much different than having access to Eladamri or the 2 mana lord that you pay a green draw card. That one seems like a different angle to build elves with. Maybe. I mostly think that card is like you play it. I think mostly that card is one you play as a Court of Calling 2 to target, so your elves can be good against creature decks. I think it's like that's how I was thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, possibly you could do it in a different way. But it's playing pretty slow. They do decide to attack with their grandma on turn 2. I have not finished yesterday's stream yet. What was the conclusion of the Krug attack? We trophied with it. It was really good. I like the deck. All right, so I guess they don't have a second land. Kind of a weird time to scour. If I see exactly Necro on top, I'll Soul Spike the Grand. So let's just see if that's here. Not a Necro. Should be keeping this though. So let's see if they find land number 2. It kind of does feel like they've got to persist if they're going to keep a 1-land Grand hand. The Jed creature is good for goblins too, right? I'd say like almost definitely not, since you have a lot of 3-mana goblin tutors you can play. Or the 3-mana goblin, return a goblin from the yard. All that seems better. Right, down to 17. Did they find land 2? It's tapped. Okay. So hopefully they don't have Spell Pierce. That would be a little deflating. But I think I can just pay 16, assuming they don't have Spell Pierce. Oh no, I probably want to pay 15 so I can just Soul Spike them to try to kill them next turn. Okay, so if I pay 15, then I'm going to have 19 cards in my hand. It's the same if I Soul Spike. Either way, I'm just trying to get the number of cards in exile. 19. So it'll be 14 cards in exile. And then they're going to be at 18. So I guess it's not going to be lethal unless I find another Soul Spike. So yeah, we can go... I think we still go 15 and hope to find second Soul Spike. There is a second Soul Spike. We also need to have drawn a Swamp. Okay, we did draw a Swamp. Okay, so even if they persist in Archon, we win next turn. Oh, there's a third Soul Spike. I guess I didn't have enough black cards for it, though. I also didn't find a second Nethergoyf to just be able to be Thoughtseize proof here for whatever that's worth. Yeah, with more con, it does feel like you're just going to get to sweep your opponent's board when you play that pretty often. All right, so I expect to get persisted here. But if all they have is persist, we win. Hold. Oh, it's Unearth, not Thoughtseize. Ah, it's Unearth, not Thoughtseize. Let's go. Adding this combo element to Necro seems really nice. You know what? It was really nice last year when we played it, but it just feels like people care more about Cosmogoyf because other people have been playing it. But also, I think our updates to this build have made this build better than it was, for whatever that's worth, too. But I just think this is better than the Thud deck, and it plays pretty similarly while just having access to the Necro plan, too. All right, so Surgicals and Veil of Summer's in. I think we cut the Marches. Does kill Grandma. We cut the Sheoldred also. I just want to not play the Sheoldred. I think the first copy's okay. Might play third Cling over first Sheoldred. You have to get a bunch of elves entering though, right, to sweep board? Yeah, I mean that's kind of what the whole elves deck does though. Like especially with like the 2-mana lord when an elf enters, you get another elf, and then you get to like be proliferating too. Of course, it is true that you have to have like you have to have stuff, but the elves deck is really good at getting a lot of elves in play. When Serum Powder came out, was it hyped, hated, or meh? I don't know. It's before my time. I started playing in Return to Ravnica. Anybody remember? Anybody remember what the initial thoughts to Serum Powder was? It's a really cool card. At the point you're on Necro, you should probably add some MDC. I really disagree. We did play Boggart Trawler in this, you know. Like, and you know, you got to give me some credit, chatters. You got to be like, you don't have to explain to me why you would play NDFCs and Necro. Like, I've been building a lot of modern decks. We've played a lot of Boggart Trawlers and Necro decks. It's very intentional I'm not playing them. Like, if you watch this exact game, because I'm playing so many swamps, I felt comfortable going down to 2 life so that I could try to reliably draw a swamp to play instead of I would have had to pay 1 less life because I'm so full of swamps. The life loss on Trawler really fucking sucks. It really, really is very, very difficult. Also, when you're Serum Powdering, it's very nice to be playing a lot of your fetchables so that like if you Serum Powder 2, 3, 4 swamps, you're just still very comfortable too. I'm a big. You have plenty of black cards in this deck for March and Soul Spike, even with the Serum Powders, even without the MDFCs, and with Rite of Consumption and Necro and Thoughtseize, you pay a lot of life, and it's very difficult to justify paying extra life in your mana base. So this is my thoughts on it. I've been pretty happy cutting the Trawlers, and we did play Trawlers when we built this deck last year. Big thumbs for the 1 year. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. I'm talking about Boggart Trawler, Richie. Necrogoyf and no Necro is kind of clickbait. Oh, sorry. Did I type Necrogoyf again? Cosmogoyf. I keep doing that. Also, it's not... Is it clickbait? Or just me being dumb? I don't know. I was doing this all last year, too. I kept calling Cosmogoyf Necrogoyf. Okay, you do. Yeah, it's okay. And if you disagree, you can play Trawler, of course. But, you know, you got to give me a little credit. All right, I'm going to keep this on the draw against Grand. The Reanimator seems great. Chef with the 38 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Assume it's because of Necrodominance and Goyf. That's why it's like this in my stupid brain. That's why my brain thinks it's that, but it's not. So if they Grand turn 1, I probably still Surveil so that I can save Fatal Push for Frog, although they just have a Thoughtseize. Devil's Advocate in the last game, you said you didn't have enough black cards for Spike. I mean, that's true, but I just wouldn't have been able to pay the amount of life I did pay if it wasn't for how swamp heavy I was, right? There's obviously still the pros of you get to Soul Spike more. Also, I had to, you know, I don't know how much you're playing to drawing like the 3rd Soul Spike there anyways. We still had enough to double Soul Spike. I don't know. Wouldn't explain myself come out constantly, especially when it plays more modern than one. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I'm not. It's obvious. Also not serious for whatever that's worth too. I think I want to main phase this because of their ability to remove, or sorry, to spell pierce my Fatal Push. Although maybe I just would rather them spell pierce the Fatal Push. I don't know. because I've got the Necros, but I have second Necro, so if they spell Pierce first Necro, I have second. I do like that they're just playing another Emperor because I just get to Soul Spike it. You do want to draw a lot of cards most of the time here. I feel like I can draw 19. So if I draw 19, I'm going to go back up to 5. If I draw 19, I'm going to have 23 cards in my hand, discard 5 of them, net down to 18. So I guess I don't need to do that many. Or 18 cards in exile. So if I draw 14 instead, if I draw 14, I have 18 cards in hand, discard 5 of them, another 13. Discard 15. Yeah, so 15, right? 15, 19, 14, yeah, 15. So we have Swamp. We have Goyf Fling, so we're definitely going to keep Goyf Fling plus Surgical plus Swamp. And then maybe just second Goyf. Is there any? I don't know that I would really ever care to keep a Thoughtseize here. I think I'd rather keep another Goyf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then no to this Thoughtseize. Surgical instep. Well, we could surgical main phase potentially too. I mean, I'm mostly keeping this in hand to play around reanimation effects. There's also something about like if we surgical them. I guess if we surgical them, then we just play 2 Goyfs. That would be why, huh? Maybe we surgical the Fatal Push now that they surveilled one in the yard. Although probably fine now to surgical the Emperor of Bones. Surgical their Thoughtseize before discard. I mean, if they Thoughtseize me, we're still like super ahead. I feel like if we surgical the Thoughtseize, then are we weak to being reanimated? I'm not sure. But it's like if they do Thoughtseize my Rite of Consumption, then I just get to play double Goyf with surgical up. It seems like that's an unlosable situation. Might have been right though. I think this is probably the right move. But it just seemed like we were pretty resilient to Thoughtseize. All right, 3-0-6-0 this league. Let's go ahead and get a trophy prediction going. Be a nice way to end the week. I mean, I think you just always powder a 7, even if you have 2 Goyfs, although it kind of hurts. If I powder here, I have 1 Cosmogoyf left in the deck. But that 1 Cosmogoyf will have 14 power. Yeah, I believe. But it's like also our ratio, like like a 1 in 32 chance to find it is not too bad. You know what I mean? So I just think that there's too many important things for the Thoughtseize to hit that Inquisition misses. I think I'm supposed to keep the Thoughtseize and main phase this. I've been getting got by Mana Tithe too often. Probably gonna just Urborg here, but I want to give myself the ability to surveil or get a basic swamp in the face of Blood Moon. But if I don't, I guess why would I ever surveil? I can't think of a good reason. Maybe they'll do something. Probably not. But I do think being able to get a basic swamp is enough of a reason to play this over Urborg. That's a very good top deck for them. They can escape the Flage next turn with haste. Okay, so what's the move? I mean, I obviously have to play this Necro. So right now they're dealing me 13 damage. So let's say I find a Soul Spike for the Guide of Souls. Then I'm going to be taking 12, and I'm going to be Am I just gonna go to 1? Maybe I want to go to 2. So I guess 2 so I can crack a fetch and kill a Flage. I don't have main deck Surgical, no. This is their best top deck, I guess. Okay, so if I draw 7, I go down to 9. I Soul Spike up to 13. So I think I should draw 6, so that I can crack a fetch and kill a Flage after that with a Fatal Push. We do find the Soul Spike, and we find Rite of Consumption Goyf. So I think we actually just win. Wait, okay, hold on. So I'm going to have... How many cards in exile? I'm going to have 22 plus 5 is an incalculable amount. It's 27. They're going to be at exactly 27. All right. Urborg is really paying off here, too. By my calculations, we win. It win a crazy game here. Oh my gosh, I can't cast the Cosmogoyf. I've miscalculated. No. Not that we had... I guess... So we needed to surveil. That's why we needed to surveil him. Lesson learned. 1 life point off. Shout out Basic Forest. Not in the deck, of course. Sad game. Them drawing the Flage was also tough, of course. So I want to cut all the Plunge into Darknesses. There's too much life loss. And I think I usually like to play a couple Nature's Claims. I like being able to kill my own Necro in this matchup, but then also killing Bombardment and Blood Moon's nice. Why did we shock there? Well, we couldn't cast the Goyf, so we were just conceding. We had Urborg. Yeah, we had no green mana, so we couldn't do anything. And it's kind of close. I think I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, love to see a powder, although I don't love the powder. Oh, I get to bottom a Goyf. Nice. Powder again. Don't really dislike this one so much. I mean, I dislike having the powder. I mean, if I just find a Goyf, it's so big, and I'm so likely to find one, too. Okay, so right now I have 18 cards in my exile. So, like, if I find a Goyf, this is going to be lethal, and I have double Fatal Push. And I have 4 Goyfs in my 36 cards, so I'm pretty likely to find one. I think we could keep this. I like Soul Spike plus this Rite of Consumption is lethal, and that's not even counting. That's not even counting if my opponent deals themselves any damage. If my top card is Goyf, do I Soul Spike pitching both Fatal Push? Okay, well it's not, so we don't need to worry too much about it. What do you do about an 18-17 Goyf or a 17-18 Goyf? Well, they do have like 1 Celestial Purge in their sideboard. You want to take them? I think you have to take the Seasoned Pyromancer there. It's like the Bombardment's not doing much with just the Guide of Souls. We have Fatal Push for the Guide of Souls. This Spyro is like so important to discard the Flage. Called shot. Called shot. All right, we have 4 Goyfs in our 32 card deck. Doing this now might make them sack the Vexing Bauble, which I kind of would want them to do. There it is. I'm so glad we drew the Thoughtseize before we drew the Cosmogoyf. Played the Rakdos Affinity deck in the challenge. Lost to Titan and Tron. Kind of par for the course, I guess. They don't sack the Vexing Bauble, which is a little bit wild. So we get to go to game 3. They're narrowly losing game 1. Flage not beating us this time. Do I pitch the Soul Spike so that they keep the Vexing Bauble in the deck? I don't know. I'm just going to write them. Take 18. I gain 18. Yeah. Oh, I guess, yeah, Soul Spike does kill them with combat damage. That's true. All right, we go to game 3. We also have, Culling Ritual and Nature's Claim for Bombardment. Going back to that Thoughtseize decision, I definitely felt good about the choice to take the Spyro. No, it did still kill them because Soul Spike still gets to exile 2 cards there. Kind of tough to mulligan Thoughtseize Fatal Push Goyf, although we don't really have an enabler for the Goyf besides the Soul Spike, which we're bottoming. My opponent kept 7. Bring in Surgicals. I mean, we've got Cling to Dust, and the Phlages in theory are kind of slow against us. I think I'm supposed to keep this. A little bit dicey. Maybe like 1 Surgical. Alright, I'm Aspiring Spike, and I've been forced to play around Mana Tithe. Hopefully they've got a Vexing Bauble in their hand or 2. They Graveyard of Plains. Play a Guide of Souls. Take the Bombardment, I guess. Shout out Boggart Trawler. So we're down to 14. They're 1 card away from escaping the Flage. Their hand is Galvanic Discharge, Mystery card. We just draw a kind of unuseful Rite of Consumption. I guess I cast the Goyf. Might not be the right play. And they've got the fetch land for Arena Flage again. Well, maybe the Swamp would have been a Boggart Trawler, but it's not like any of these cards would have been a Surgical Extraction. I guess we will get a 4-1 prediction going. A ways away. Maybe some promotional material before that, like at the end of this year. So we do have a big Goyf. Yeah, I think we can keep this. We really would need to draw a land. I probably do Thoughtseize turn 1, because we have Cling to Dust to try to cycle for second land. And like we need to cast this Thoughtseize before the Goyf, so like the mana inefficiency of not casting the Thoughtseize is pretty punishing. So I really don't want them to have a blocker for the Goyf, so I think I'm taking the Bowmaster. Definitely good against Affinity, that's true. A good top deck for them. Nice. Do I kill the Goose? 9/9. Yeah, if I kill the Goose, they can't tap the Peatland again. Nice. Well, glad this hand ended up being a turn 3 win. If I have a push on the draw and force, I'll try to save force for turn 2 at Johnny. But it can be bad into voice. Oh, dude, yeah, voice sucks too. I don't know. The card just seems so swingy. Which I don't love for my sideboard cards. This was a crazy game. Hey, Jarvis, good to see you. Alright, so we're going to game 3 against Sam combo. Let's bring in the Surgicals. We'll bring in the Culling Rituals. Probably is a good Plunge matchup. We can cut the Sheoldred. Okay, like usual against Sam combo, all our cards are good. Cling is not that good against the cat. Maybe the Surgical and Cling is just not good against them, because if they have a single extra food token, it doesn't stop the combo. Yeah, I'll just play 1 Surgical to like sometimes Necro into for 0 mana interaction. Yeah, we did Powder that game. Yeah, if we hadn't Powder, that hand did nothing. It's weird how Powder is like a big part of the deck functioning. Okay, so if we Powder this hand, we're only going to have 1 right in our hand. I think that's okay. Or, sorry, not in our hand, in our deck. Can keep this on our second 7-card hand. Ashiok is very good into them. I don't know if I would say it's very good, because their deck is just all cheap creatures, so you have to have Ashiok on an empty board, right, for it to be good. And I don't know how like if it's only very good on an empty board, is it a very good tool for the matchup? Maybe it is. But like their deck is all like bowmasters and apprentices and carrion feeders. It's like it's just not very hard for them to attack it down. I kind of want to try to set up for Culling Ritual into Necro. I mean, I guess they don't have Court of Calling if they're going to tap like this. I could see playing like the fifth, like the worst Fatal Push in the sideboard of this deck. Yeah, let's just keep any black card. I think my opponent maybe has Bowmaster. But I also think just setting up the next turn, go Culling Ritual to Necro seems pretty good, and then just keeping any black card so I have Soul Spike up to stop a combo. Does Apprentice mean this is Soul Trader and Sam combo combined? I feel like I've seen people do that once or twice. We could have also just tried to Soul Spike the Bowmaster this turn. You want to cast some more creatures, opponent? One Soul Trader is a possibility. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way to build it. I wonder if you even play a Gravecrawler, or if you're just like, I'm going to play a bunch of creatures and then Soul Trader Apprentice is just going to kill my opponent a lot of the time. That might not be the worst attitude to have. Yeah, 2 bodies for Ritual. It's interesting. Oh yeah, the tracker. Yeah, I don't know why the tracker. We are 3-1 in this league. I don't know why it says 3-0. Sometimes it makes mistakes, I guess. This is my last Rite of Consumption, so I don't really want to pitch it if I don't have to. I do think they're going to Bowmaster again, but I'm going to get to Soul Spike the Bowmaster, thankfully. Not in the best shape ever, I guess. I'm in fine shape. Okay. So let's pitch Plunge, Necro, and then probably Soul Spike push. Maybe it's bad to pitch the. I could maybe just discard 2 lands here. Yeah, let's just discard 2 lands. I don't think I need to Soul Spike right now. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're up to no good. So I have 3 Goyfs left in my 33 card deck. Let's go ahead and put the Necro trigger on the stack. Maybe my opponent would want to leave my Necro in play because my life total is really low if they have like a Boseiju here. But if I Soul Spike first, they'll kill my Necro for sure. With the Soul Spike in our hand, I think we can pretty comfortably draw 8. No black mana up either for Bowmaster. All right, 4 Goyfs left in our 25 card deck. Can you briefly explain what opponent's combo is? Samwise Gamgee, Cauldron Familiar, and any sack outlet. So Viscera this card, or Carrion Conquer, or not Carrion Feeder. So I probably want to Soul Spike my opponent instead of Soul Spiking the Viscera, although they might sack this year. So again, I don't want to pitch the Rite of Consumption because this is my last Rite of Consumption. So I think I'm just going to Soul Spike them. And like we're so likely to find a Goyf. I think I'm going to take 7 damage here so I can survive like a Bowmaster ping or like an Apprentice trigger if I find the Goyf. And I'm so likely to find one. Okay, I do find one. And now I just need to live. Why main? So I can pay more life. So I'm at 2. They got 2 cards in their hand and a Birthing Ritual. Birthing Ritual trigger on the stacks. We beat a Bowmaster. It still says 3-0. I mean, I can't manually change it, but we are 3-1, and this is game 3 of this league. They're thinking. Well, didn't think we'd be entwining Plunge into Darkness today. So yeah, this gives them Hexproof, so I can't kill them with my Rite of Consumption. It also can only target players or Planeswalkers. But I can sack this Cosmogoyf to gain life. Oh, but they're going to Fatal Push again. That's their other card, is last Fatal Push. I guess that makes sense. So now I guess I have to find Fatal Push or March. But if I'm dead though. I'm dead. Well, I'll show them that their tech works, which is maybe bad form, but listen, I gotta reward them for playing Crystal Barricade. Maybe I want these Veil of Summers. Yeah. Also stops Apprentice pings. Yeah, powder. I think you powder almost any 7. So this is another 1-land Goyf after we've powdered. We don't have the Fling in the hand this time. We do have the Plunge into Darkness. We don't have the Cling to cycle. I think I'm going to go to 6 this time without the Cling to cycle. So this is powdering away either 3 of our Soul Spikes or 2 of our Necros. What's more important? I think Necro's probably more important. Not sure. Go to 5. Yeah, I think I kind of have to keep Veil of Summer, 3 lands, Culling Ritual. The fact that we can Veil the Thoughtseize is pretty good. Yeah, it's fun that Serum Powder has its own button over here. No other card really has that, right? One awkward thing is about this hand is if I do draw a Necro, I can't, or a Goyf, I can't really cast it early because of the Culling Ritual. Don't think we want to draw a 4th land right now. With the second Surveil on the draw, we're really likely to find one. I do like drawing a Fatal Push, so I'm not going to be just dying to a fast combo here. Would love if they cast a Thoughtseize, obviously. Down to 17. Yeah, definitely a tough mold to 5. Don't think we're supposed to Fatal Push there. Like, the Culling Ritual cleans up the food, so it's not like the Familiar is going to be able to come back post-Culling Ritual, right? Well, I hate having the graveyard this Culling Ritual, because now it says, hey, opponent! I've got a Culling Ritual. You wanna play around that? So maybe the Thoughtseize to play around that. That would be best case scenario, I guess. That would be the best case scenario. Although they haven't cast a Thoughtseize yet. They probably would want to before my Necro turn. So if they find a Sam off the Birthing Ritual, we can respond to the Cauldron Familiar coming back with Fatal Push. The problemo is they're just not going to activate the Cauldron Familiar. There's no reason to. So I guess I should have Fatal Pushed the Carrion Feeder. Now I have to play this Goyf. Yeah, sorry. I just should have pushed the carrion feeder. But now we lose to any creature really. Although I can Veil of Summer the Cauldron Familiar. Oh, it's each opponent. Okay, well, I guess we lose. No, they can win through removal here. They can just start the loop again. Even if I do the second Fatal Push first, I can the second Cauldron Familiar kills me. So we do 3-0 into 3-2, which is a bummer. I do like the deck. It's pretty high variance, but it is like so sick when it pops off. So sorry to the believers, but we at least have Lorwyn coming out next Tuesday. So I'm going to be taking the weekend off to be deck building for Lorwyn. I also just don't usually like streaming the Monday before a set release comes out because